Alright guys, welcome and good evening, and I think we're on. Yeah, we should be good there now. So in the meanwhile, these guys are loading onto the session. Welcome to IG8Live Esports. We're on with High Velocity Racing League this evening, and this is just going to be for the race session. Qualifying was last evening, and I think we're just going to have a look at the qualifying results. In the meanwhile, they are getting everything going now. Let me just see if I can get that online for you guys in just a bit here, because I'm trying to see where they'd put that. All right, there we go. Alright, so it looks like it was Cohen's fastest in the session for the qualifying. A 136.7 was a pretty good lap that he had, actually. The only 136 in the session. I see Lightwork went second fastest with that, so that's why he'll be starting on the grid. Canadian Necktie was third fastest at 137.2. It's about 2/10 off what Lightwork had there in second, so not too far off. Fourth was Fuse at 137.4. I'm pretty close off with the qualifying times. OJ Bright was fifth fastest. Mr. Clean down in 6. We got Deary Racing in 7. We got JC there in 8. Hopefully he's on into the session. Shelly the Turtle into 9th. We got Warrens in 10th. And Gabagai there in 11th. Seapower was 12th. And Hewlett was 13th. Looks like Joker didn't get a lap time in the session. But all the way down to 140.4 fastest, 136.7. So results weren't not too bad. Only one driver in the top 10 qualified using the softs there. So going to be a bit interesting with that as well. We'll see how well that works out. If any driver in the top 10 did not show up for this race session, we will be moving one out of the top 10 into that session. They will be able to use whatever tires they actually did their qualifying lap on. So we'll see how that works out in terms of getting through to that. So we're just waiting for the guys to just load everything in terms of setups and whatnot on the car, and we should be ready to get onto the grid and get through the formation up. We'll have a look at the entire starting grid once again as we get through that, but in the meanwhile I think we're just waiting for yeah, I think we should be ready to go there now. So let's get this off screen and have a look on what's going to happen next year. Okay, so I think we are currently good to go for the formation. I'm just getting a few of our stats up on screen before we do get everything going here. So let's have a look at what the start grid currently looks like. We got 16 drivers in this at the moment. Looks like one of our drivers has not shown up. I think one of the Haas drivers were not able to make it for the session. So what we got so far compared to what we did have on those qualifying results, which we just went through, was Cones starting in P1. We got Lightwork still is going to be starting second. Looks like Canadian Necktie will start third on the grid. Fuse starting fourth. We got OJ Bright starting fifth. Mr. Clean will start sixth. DV Racing starting 7th. Shelly the Turtle starts 8th. Warrens will start 9th. Gavagai moves up into 10th because one of the top 10 guys not here this evening. Seapower will start 11th. Hewlett will start 12th on the grid. Got Joker starting 13th. Golden Phoenix will start 14, VZ there starting 15, and Monkey Mafia starts 16th down at the back of the grid there. So 16 drivers in this. This is, of course, round 4 here for the current season with High Velocity Racing League. And just being the race session could be at least average of about 45 minutes for this entire session. Get on through. I think it's just about 20 something laps. It is, you know, it is a bit of a longer lap around here for this session, so it'll be interesting with that as well. So the qualifying laps were just in the 130s going to the 140s, at most going to be like a 142, 143 or so, possibly race pace time around here. We'll see how fast these guys actually go as we get into the session. And not sure if we're expecting any safety cars or VSCs during the race session itself, but I think we might possibly just have one. But we'll have a look at the current standings during the session itself and see where the guys have been so far with the previous 3 rounds that they've had here at HVRL. Still following on with them getting through the formation lap, getting around the final sector right about now on that very long straight down the back there, which is where we're possibly going to see most of the overtakes happen, especially with those cars that have a better setup running a faster straight line speed. Going to have just a bit more of an advantage. Of course, this track is a bit demanding in terms of some of these turns with tires as well, because quite a few 90-degree turns there down in sector 1 and a bit tricky through sector 2 as well. Sector 3 gonna have to be a bit careful getting off some of these turns and getting back to that straight that runs straight down to the start finish line. So we'll see how well the guys manage through this. So far I think we're getting everybody sorted back into the grid. I think Monkey Mafia is almost there in his grid slot, and we should be ready to go. Looking like it might be a two-stop strategy, it might be a one-stop strategy for some of these guys, as we know some of them are currently on the medium tires, and most of them are on the medium tires. So we got about 3 drivers on the hards, 2 on the soft. Let's see how well this goes between Cones and Lightwork as they're off now into turn 1. Just so that McLaren gets some bit of a better run going on through. Canadian Necktie gets a good run as well, along with the Aston Martin alongside him. So far so good, as everyone gets through turn 1, heading into turn 2. And I haven't seen any major damage between cars going on. We might have a bit of contact coming down at the back there, as some of the cars have started to space out just a bit. Out in front here, Lightwork running in third at the moment, with Necktie up to second now. He's gained that position. We got the Aston Martin of Fuse trying to get around, and he's side by side with the McLaren. He now gets up into third, and will possibly hold on to that at least for this lap. Let's see if his Lightwork is able to get it back. He's still following him through on this current opening lap. So far so good. I haven't seen anything happen down at the back of the grid that resulted possibly a VSC or a safety car so far. Maybe some minor contact between a few cars. We might have some cars with maybe some minor wing damage as they get on through. But so far so good. Those soft tires working pretty well for Necktie, who's currently up into second. Got that position away. Lightwork all the way down to fourth. Fuse is up to third on this one. OG Bryce running there in fifth. Mr. Clean currently 6th. Deer Racing there in 7. Let's have a look. A pretty close gap he currently has to Mr. Clean, chasing after him, and might just be able to get that position over with. And he's trying to get around the outside, but has to just hold back onto that racing line. We're going to get through into sector 3 here now. Well, they're going to have that very long straight to deal with going down to the start finish straight. So going to get a bit interesting through that as well. Out in front, Cones trying to build a bit of a lead, but Necktie chasing after him. He's getting a lead away from Fuse though, who's currently still holding on to third on the grid, and doing a pretty good job of that. Lightwork behind that by about 8 to 9 tenths. And we have a bit of a close gap going on down here in the midfield. 7th with Deer Racing has Shelly the Turtle coming up behind of him, and he goes into the pits. The Turtle has to pull on to the right side, but he got that done. Hopefully no damage on the car. Monkey Mafia currently up into 13th on the grid right about now. So we do have 2 pit stops currently happening. Golden Phoenix and DV Racing into the pits. Possibly took some damage on that opening lap. Minor damage to the front wings, which would definitely result in some issues in terms of handling some of these corners here at the Baku City Circuit. So gonna get interesting as well. Let's see where they come out back and where they're gonna be on track. And the yellow flag situation is going on there in sector 1, I believe. Let's see what's happening so far. So our leaderboard might be getting a bit mixed up. We're just gonna ignore that for the time being, as these guys continue to get on through, and we'll have a look at what the running order is as that gets back sorted here. Currently following on with OJ Bright. Let's see what's going on with him. Where is Warren's on track? Warren's being chased by the Mercedes, and Mr. Clean still was a very close gap behind, at least about 3 to 4 tenths, I would say. And we got a bit of an issue there. I think that was the McLaren. Yep, was the McLaren of Lightwork. He's out of this race session, and this might just be a full safety car. Just depends on what's happening. Currently still just a yellow flag in that sector of the track as everyone gets on through and gets around. He is a bit blocking the path through that portion there, getting up into Castle. So let's see if what's going to happen in the session. So far still no VSC or safety car for that incident, and we're still continue on with the race, but just a yellow flag in the situation as everyone gets on through this. Trying to have a look at what's happening out in front, with Cones leading the session right about now. How far back is Necktie? Not too far back, as he gets a pretty good run on the start finish straight, getting into the next lap here. Of course, Cones currently with the fastest lap as they get on through this. The Williams leads against the Alfa Romeo just behind. About a 310 gap, I think, is what he has there, if we have just an estimate of that so far as it is. We got, of course, Fuse coming down there in third. Warren's running fourth right about now, still being chased. Let's see if he's being chased. No, we got VC in front of him now. Mr. Clean chasing after him. So we got Mr. Clean down to 6. That's about a 210 gap. I'm going to stay on board for this at least. See how this goes through in sector 1 on currently on a lap 3. Gonna have DRS be on 9 here pretty soon, and just give a bit more advantage to some of our drivers as they get on through with this race session. So into lap 3 of 26 here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, going pretty well so far. 1 driver unfortunately out of the session there. 15 currently remain, and we're gonna continue on through that. Monkey Mafia there started 16th on the grid, currently up to 10th. Gonna have a bit of a switch with that in just a second. Have a look and see how that's going there. So he's about 5 tenths behind Gabigai there in the Williams. So he's doing pretty good so far. He's in quite a few positions in the race. I think he's going to continue on trying to do that as much as he can here. This, of course, higher up in the grid order, more points for the current drivers championship that they're running on here. We'll see how that works out as they get through this session here, but so far so good. Only one driver lost, no major incident down on the opening lap of the race, which was actually pretty interesting and good to see. So let's see how the rest of the drivers get on through with this. See what's happening out in front, because looks like Cones has lost the lead. Of course, the Necktie, who's now currently in P1 leading. Now, an interesting thing here is that Necktie running on the softs will have to run a shorter stint before doing a pit stop at this point. Or Cones running on the mediums has a bit more of an advantage of running a longer stint. So should be able to get back the lead, but just depends on how much of a gap Necktie is going to put out in front. Let's see how that works out for him. Fuse still chasing after these two there in third. Of course, his gap is now down to 2.3 seconds and needs to work his way back up just a bit and possibly just try to close that in as much as he can there. Back on the way to Warriors here. Let's see how that's going currently for him. Gap is currently about 8.4 seconds to Shelly the Turtle out in front, so he has some time to work with. I think our closest possible gap is what we have currently out in front with Cones and Canadian Necktie here. And this, of course, is for the lead of the race. Necktie just recently got that lead away from Cones, who started there in P1. He's desperately trying to get this back. I'm going to use the straight down this start finish straight as a bit of an advantage if he can with the DRS, and possibly just try using some ERs as well. Let's see if he's able to get that back as they head through to that section of the track now. And he's going to have a pretty good run down to the start finish straight. You can already see Necktie pulling to the left side and not pulling back to the right, just trying to keep Cones out of the slipstream as much as he can. Just now side by side, and looks like Cones gets back the lead before entering through to turn 1 into lap 5. So not too much of a bad overtake there. That slipstream did help quite a bit though, and I think he possibly used some of the ERs and the DRs as well. So all that advantage puts him back up into the lead with a 4:10 gap currently used, but he has their Necktie back down to second, still on running on those softs. We'll see when he does decide to take a pit stop. Well, it's going to be a bit further into the race session, I assume, but still running pretty good so far. And that set of soft tires has done I think it's done a bit in terms of giving that advantage in terms of getting away with the lead earlier on, but is he going to be able to get it back at this point? I'm not sure. Coles continuing on to lead. He's going to try to extend that lead now as much as he can using his mediums. Going to possibly wear them away maybe just a little bit. But let's see how that goes through for him. Fuse there still 2.7 seconds down from the top two currently running. VZ they're currently running 4:10 seconds behind. Mr. Clean in 5th. That's a bit of a gap to work with as well. 1.6 seconds. Chase after the Haas there, 1.1 second behind. And trying to have a look if you have any closer gaps down at the back there, because OJ Bright now under a second behind Gabigai there. And I think he's going and coming with that gap. He's trying to keep it within and there you go. See, he gets the overtake done actually. So Gabigai is now down into 10th, OJ Bright up into 9th. Interesting piece of overtaking happening. I think they might have switched that back. And it keeps switching back and forth. I'm not sure what's happened down at the back there. Right, the Gabigai now down into 11. Might have been a bit of an incident possibly happened there. We're on the start finish straight again, once again with these two running out in front. Necktie looking to get side by side with the Williams, and he is on the inside trying to get their lead back again. Had a feeling this might happen coming into lap 6, which it did. So we're back with Cones back down to second. Canadian Necktie currently holding on to that lead once again that he's gotten away from the Williams, and that straight down at the back there track, giving that advantage in terms of the straight line speed and the slipstream to get around and get that overtake done. So I think Cones is going to keep that gap as close as he can, getting through this current lap here to get that lead back again. If he possibly can, let's see if that's going to happen or not, because I think he might just have to put a bit of pressure on Necktie to just have his tires be worn away just a bit quickly, and that maybe just might give him a bit more advantage in terms of keeping the lead in this race and continue on there, because he knows Necktie is on those softs. We'll have to do a pit stop before him unless he takes some damage in the session. We'll see what's going to happen. Good thing to see at this point here, absolutely no penalties in the session so far, so let's see if that's going to keep going all the way through. Of course, I said something about it, so that might not keep. Just depends. Let's see what's going to happen. 5/10 is what the gap is as they are about to enter into sector 3, and is keeping a bit constant right around that. So let's see what's going to happen as it is there right now. Necktie continues to lead the race. Cones there in second. Fuse still running in third, 2.1 seconds behind, trying to gain some time here, and VC chasing after him another 12 seconds behind. So he has that gap to work with, even if he makes a bit of a mistake at this point here. And we can see some extremely close racing out in front here with Cones and Nectar. Cones going to go for this once again, using that slipstream advantage and the DRS as he gets down the start finish straight, pulling alongside on the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Gets back the lead here into lap 7. And this might be a switch by switch basis as these two go lap by lap. The Alfa Romeo, of course, going to try to get back the lead before the next lap comes if he can. Let's see if that's going to be the case or not, as we are on board right now having a look at Necktie behind, and a pretty good run he's having. So let's see if he's able to keep that going. Now we're on with Monkey Mafia, getting around Golden Phoenix actually, and right there in sector 3 as he gets that moved on pretty good. He's now about 7.2 seconds behind Gabagai. Gonna chase after that for the start finish straight to get a bit of an advantage there. Of course, gonna be a bit of a disadvantage to his teammate behind of him, who's gonna get a better run down that start finish straight, and I think his teammate might be disconnected here. Yep, looks like Golden Phoenix is disconnected from his car. Not sure if he's going to be able to get back on in time in terms of gaining back positions here. Does explain why Monkey Mafia might have gotten that position up quite easily as well. Let's see how this works out as we get through the rest of the race session here. So out in front, Cones continues to lead against Necktie, still 1.5 seconds over the gap is. It looks like those soft tires might have started to degrade just a bit more than Necktie would like. Fuse still running 2.4 seconds behind of this, though has to close that gap as much as he can, and possibly try to put that Aston Martin up into second place on the grid if he's able to. Let's see what's going to happen. VZ still running 4th, Mr. Clean still in 5th, Warren still running 6th, Deere Racing in 7th, Shelly the Turtle still running in 8th, fastest lap with Cones here so far, still Joker in 9th, Gabagai 10th, Monkey Mafia all the way up to 11th and running 4.5 seconds behind the Williams in front of him. Let's see how fast he's able to catch up. Gap was about 6 seconds as he collides with the wall just a bit there, and as we know, around the circuit here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, pretty tight around the circuit barriers on both sides, pretty close by. You gotta be just as careful as you can to avoid damage to the car. We're on with Hewlett here. He's chasing after Ghost car at the moment, just trying to get by him. Has cars coming behind of him too, so needs to be very careful. C Power in the McLaren is coming down in 14th, trying to keep up with him as he gets on through. Currently in 12th, 6.5 seconds behind Monkey Mafia. Got through this session there. We're gonna go back out in front, have a look at Cones, and where is Necktie at the moment? So a bit of a gap. He has lost some time here. Not sure if he made a mistake or the tires are just wearing away a bit faster than the like, because he has been pushing quite a bit in terms of trying to keep up with the Williams in front of him and trying to keep that lead in the race session. Is still having a bit of a difficult time with that. Now down to second, 2.5 seconds to the car behind of him, which is Fuse in the Aston Martin, VZ behind of that. Let's see how that works out as we go on through into lap 8 right now in this race. We'll be entering into lap 9 pretty soon, getting to sector 3 here, so let's see what's going to happen. Some close gaps possibly down at the back of the grid. Looks like Monkey Mafia has closed the gap pretty quickly. 6/10 is what it is against the Williams in front of him, who now pulls onto the left side. He's putting left and right all the way around as he gets through this current lap here. Monkey Mafia doing a bit of late braking here, trying to catch up to the Williams. He's trying to get that overtake done before the end of this lap here, so he doesn't want to wait until that straight down at the back of the track. He's going to try to get it done as soon as possible, but let's see how that works out. Has to be extremely careful as well to avoid a contact here, and he does get a bit of an advantage, and he gets ahead up into 10th place in this race, and in the top 10, which is where he wants to be right about now. He's going to try to keep it there, and let's see how that advantage works. Now, where we had a few cars, 3 cars actually, who started on the hard tires in this race. Let's see what's going to happen in their case. OJ Bright, of course, just switched from that. He's on to the hards now, possibly trying to push this all the way to the end of the race. We'll see how that goes. Welcome Wildflower to the stream. Thank you guys for joining on. Hopefully everyone watching enjoying the stream so far, and hopefully everything good on the streams then. So we did, of course, leave the driver standings, constructor standings, so we'll probably have a look at that during the race session. If we potentially have a safety car or a VSC, it doesn't look like we might be having one of those in this session or not. If not, we'll probably have a look at those at the end of the session after the results of the race itself come up on screen. We'll have a quick look at that before ending off the stream. But yeah, either way, let's continue on with this guy. So a pretty close gap out in front here. Warren's chasing after Shelly the Turtle. A 6-10 gap that he currently has. Let's see how that works out for him getting into next lap into lap 9 already. Out in front, looks like Cones is leading by about 3.1 seconds right about now. Those soft tires definitely look like they have started to degrade quite a bit, or he's just not finding the pace to keep up with Cones. Of course, Fuse though, now about 3.2 seconds behind Canadian Necktie, so he's losing time actually. Lost about 4 to 5 so far, because he was about 2.5 to 2.6 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo and running, and now has lost a bit of time. We'll see how that works out in terms of him catching back up. Joker there in 9th right now, just behind Warren's here, who's chasing after Shelly the Turtle. Out in front, we got Necktie into the pits. 9 laps done on those soft tires. He's going to switch it on, possibly to a set of hards to go to the end of the race, or maybe a set of mediums to be a bit of an aggressive strategy. And the second set of mediums, so he's going to do a set of mediums for the next 16 laps, and which is quite possible, because we've seen these guys currently running 9 laps on this set of medium so far, and they're going to push quite a bit further into the race before actually doing a stop at this point here. They might actually put a run maybe into lap 15 or 16. We'll see what's going to happen. We got the Ferrari trying to go side by side with the Haas here right about now. Red Bull just behind of that. He's trying to get it wrong. He's up into 8th. Warrens is now down into 9th. Might have been a bit of a mistake he made there getting through that section of the track, and he's now down by a position. We got Joker in the Red Bull trying to get side. We got a virtual safety car actually, no overtaking of course. We got the Ferrari Warrens going into the pits, and he's going to change off, take advantage of the VSC that we're currently under. Of course, the Red Bull here has to hold off his position at the moment in 6th. Shelly Turtle down in 7th. I guess they got that overtake done before the VSC happened, or he would have had to give back the position. I'm not sure if they were both of them seem to have a penalty right now for some reason here, and I'm not sure what that penalty is. I don't want to switch that off for the time being, but we do have a VSC, which I'm trying to figure out why we have a VSC at the moment here. Something's happened on track at some point, but I'm not entirely sure what it is at this moment here. Of course, did trigger at least I know one pit stop there with Warrens, who went in, and he's on to a new set of mediums. He's gonna possibly go to the end of the race with that. We'll see what the situation is gonna be with him, because I'm trying to figure out what tires was he on before. I think he was on a set of mediums, might be doing a 2-stop. We'll see what the situation is gonna be as we get on through with this. And we got DRS back online. Race is back on the way as we got Fuse now going into the pits. Looks like Necktie just did a stop on the VST there as well. He's back out on track. Cone's still leading the race here, and he hasn't done a pit stop as yet, so he's still running on his medium tires, which are now 10 laps old, and he's going to continue on that. 13.6 seconds is what the gap is. The Fuse down in 2nd, who's currently still in the pits and now going to get out, and he's down by a few positions. Necktie back up into 2nd, 22.0 seconds behind Cones. That's cutting it quite close in terms of Cones taking a pit stop at this point and getting back out into the lead. We'll see how close that's going to be. I think he needs at least 2 or 3 seconds more in terms of getting back up into the lead if he takes a pit stop at this point here. Just depends on how long into entry and exit of the pits here it's going to be at Azerbaijan, and I think it's at least 23 seconds for that to happen, and him for to safely get back into the lead. So he needs to take that into consideration if he's going to do a pit stop at this point here. Of course, he will be on a bit of a 1 lap fresher tires if he does do it at this point, but I don't think he's going to do it. He might just continue on and hold it out for now, but he's going to have to look at the advantage Necktie is going to have on those mediums going on through. Of course, he might just want to hold on through just a bit more to go onto a set of soft tires and then continue to the end of the race, having that more advantage in terms of race pace getting through the session. I'm going to go down to VZ, who are currently in 3rd in the next Alfa Romeo. So both Alfa Romeos running 2nd and 3rd on the grid at the moment, so looking pretty good in terms of getting some points here. Good points at least for this race session as it is. See if that's going to be the case or not. Fuse currently down into 5th with a gap of about 1.4 seconds to Mr. Clean in front of him. Trying to see how that is currently working out with him getting through. I think that's possibly the closest gap. That gap is now starting to go under a second as he chases after him. Looks like Necktie now having the fastest lap out in front. Let's see how this is going to be between Mr. Clean and Fuse here. Fuse looking like he's going to have this overtake done before getting into that lap, but actually not enough room to get that done. So he's going to have to hold it on there for now. But a bit of a mistake on Mr. Clean taking that corrupt there, but cost him just about a 10th or 2, but still holds on to P4 so far as these guys get on through this. And now we have the Aston Martin going up a position. Now looks like it's a switchback between them. So it looks like Fuse get back to position there, and it's a full safety car right about now. I think that's what happened there as he caused that to happen as well. So we got a full safety car, Shelly Turtle out of the session. Let's see if this happened right where light work went off in the session. I'm not sure. Actually, no, it's not. It's down just before the entry into Sector 3. One turn before that, right around here somewhere is where it happened actually. Might have actually put that car into the wall there, but I can't see it anymore because it already took the car off track. So we lost 2 drivers so far in the session. We got some pit stops happening out in front in front of us. Our 3 cars currently into the pits, making their stops going on to a set of mediums. We got DV Racing getting back out right about now. Race leader still has not pitted as yet. 23 seconds now between him and Necktie, who's currently still running in second. Want to see how that's going to work out. We're waiting to see what the running order is going to be as they get on through with this. So currently on to lap 12 here of 26. By the time we get finished with the safety car, should be a halfway point of the race session there. In the meanwhile, guys, I think we're gonna have a quick look. Can we have a look at the constructor? Oh, we do have the race leader getting into the pits right now. So on lap 12, he's going on to a set of soft. This is gonna be quite an expressive strategy for him if he plans to push those soft all the way to the end, because that's gonna be about 14 laps. Of course, going to be about another 2 laps under the safety car, so we'll give him that advantage in terms of just running 12 racing laps on the set of softs. So might actually just be able to pull that off. But either way, let's have a look at the constructor standings in the meanwhile as we get on through this. So far as we have it here for High Velocity Racing League, we do have Williams currently leading the the constructor standings at the moment. 89 points currently is what they have. McLaren are about 38 points behind of that. They're currently second on the constructor standings. 51 points is what they have. Alfa Romeo currently running in third, 46 points, but they're looking at getting some decent points here for this race session at least. Mercedes down in fourth with 23 points. We got Ferrari just behind of that, only 22 points. So just a point to separate those two. Going to be a bit interesting battle going on through the season with them. AlphaTauri currently 6 with 22 points as well, tying off Ferrari there. Alpine behind of that in 7th with 16 points. Aston Martin currently 8th with 15 points, and then Red Bull 15 tying up Aston Martin there as well. Haas with the least amount, 8 points currently in P10 as they have it there, and that is currently the constructor standings as we have it. In the meanwhile, these guys are still gonna be let's get back out in front in the meanwhile as we have it here. So we still got Cones and following behind the safety car getting on through this current lap, which I'm quite sure. I'm just waiting to make sure that we're not going back racing on this current lap before we do bring up the driver standing, so you guys can have a quick look at that, because I highly doubt we might have another safety car in this session getting on through with the type of racing we've seen so far from HVRL. I think it's going to be pretty been going on through the rest of the session here. Yeah, so looks like we're going to go one more lap under that safety car. That's going to be going back racing into lap 15. A decent amount of laps remaining, which should be working pretty well for Cones and Mr. Clean, who are both on the soft tires to go to the end of this race. Whereas the drivers currently on the mix of mediums, and Nahar is getting on through that. So let's see how that is going to work out. Anyway, let's bring the driver standings up on screen if we can have a quick look at that here. Alright, so it looks like race leader Cones is currently leading the drivers standings there as well, 70 points as well, and has quite a big lead by 25 points. He's leading. Lightwork currently running second, who's currently out of this race, will be losing quite a decent amount of points here as well, as he's running second on the standings with 45 points. Mr. Clean currently third on that with 23 points. We got Monkey Mafia currently fourth, 22 points. We got VZ in fifth with 18 points. We got Fuse there in sixth, and I think that's with 15 points so far. Joker down to 7th, he is with 14 points. DV Racing 10 points there in 8th, tying off with Leclerc, who's currently not racing here, 10 points for him as well. Warren's down in 10th with 8 points. We got Ray 11, 6 points. Bugs there 12 with 2 points. Gabagai in 13, 1 point. Ojib right currently 1 point in 14th at the moment, and that's currently how the standings run as it is there. So let's drop off that from the screen at the moment. We're gonna get back to the session as it is here. And once again, guys, welcome to all of you joining us live on the stream. Welcome to Wildflower in the chat as well. Let me just get back on the session. All right, so let's see what we're currently going on. So currently on lap 14, we should get a notification from race control at the end of before the end of this current lap that we're going to go back racing into a lap 15. But let's just have a look on how that's going to work out. Still following on as the running order currently is, and we can have a look at how much positions they gained so far in this session. It looks like Cones, he's right there where he started in P1. Necktie, of course, starting one position down from here. He started third, he's now in second. Fuse started fourth, he's now in third. We got VC there starting 11 positions down from where he is right now. So he's looking possibly getting driver of the day at the end of this here. Mr. Clean, of course, running in fifth, gained a position of this. Warren's there running sixth, he's gained 3 positions. Joker in 7, gained 6 positions. DV Racing in 8, he's lost a position from the start of the race. Monkey Mafia, of course, who started 16th, has gained 7 positions, running in 9th right now. Not doing too bad with that. OJ right there in 10th, lost 5 positions from the start and needs the points at this point here. So let's see what that's going to work out for him. I think our safety car is already starting to veer away from the rest of the grid. We got Hewlett there running in 12th, gained 1 position. C-Power in 12th, he's lost a position. Gabby Guy 13, lost 3 positions so far. VC out of the session during the session with the let me just have a look, see what on earth has happened here, because the safety car might have to continue on. It's depending on what happened. I'm not even sure what happened to his car. His car down in the back of the grid. I'm not sure if we're still going to go back racing here or not. Let's have a look at how the... Actually, yeah, we are going to go back racing as it seems. So everyone gets back racing here into the next lap. I'm not sure what happened to VZ. Might have just thrown that car into the wall by accident, or something out of that has happened. I'm not sure. Necktie down to third off that restart as we got going. Fuse up into second. He has a bit of an advantage here getting that position up. Cones still running out front in the lead. I'm trying to have a look what's happening with Mr. Clean here as he's going to go side by side with Warrens right now, who's trying to get around the outside into the next turn. Hasn't got the position up as yet. Looks like DV Racing is fighting with Joker there to keep that position that he currently has. Someone is ghosted in the midfield there as well and getting through that. So let's see how that's working on through. Alright, let's have. I was trying to see who is currently ghosted. I think it was no, there's Golden Phoenix. Yeah, no, he's boosted, and he's still running in the mid of the race at the moment. There, camper guy there who's currently down in 13th. Gonna have to obey the blue flags as these guys get on through the session here. Let's get back out in front though, see what's happening with our top cars at the moment running in the race. Cone still leading, of course. Fuse running 2 seconds behind of this and still trying to keep that position as much as he can. Necktie running to third now. He was second before that restart happened after the safety car there went in. He lost that position to Fuse through turn 1 getting into the turn 2. Mr. Clean running in 4th. Warren's now up into 5th. Got an overtake done against, I think, Joker there. He's now down to 6th. DV Racing in 7th. One trying to keep ahead of OJ Bright. Let's see how that's going to work for him. A 6-10 gap between Fusing and Necktie as they go down that start finish straight, and let's see if that's going to change as they get into the next lap. Still going to keep as it is right now. Warren's here in the Ferrari chasing after Mr. Clean though. Going to get as close as he can. Not sure if he'll be able to pull alongside him and possibly get overtake done. No, he's going to have to just keep it on the racing line for now and just hold on to P5. Amazing thing to see at this point here is 0 penalties in the session at the moment we're getting on through. We only have 13 drivers remaining. Of course, we've only lost 16 who started this race, so it's pretty interesting with that so far. And as we saw from the qualifying results at the start of the session, was pretty close between most of the drivers there, except for Combs there, who qualified P1 and he was in his own range with his lap time that he had. So still, so far, he's doing pretty well out front. Gotta say, 2.4 seconds is what he's leading out by after that safety car restart. Fuse having a bit of a trouble keeping up with him. Of course, he's on the soft tires. He does have that bit more advantage than these guys running on the mediums behind of him. Mr. Clean there, of course, on very fresh medium. Let's see if that's going to be any sort of advantage to him as he gets through the session here right now. Necktie still running third, still chasing after him. DV Racing still trying to get away from OJ Bright right about now. Let's see what that's going for him, because that Red was very close behind. Of course, the Alpine driver trying to hold on to that position as much as he can. Doesn't want to be losing it at this point here. Now down to a 3-10 gap between them. Monkey Mafia here about to get an overtake done pretty soon. Might be happening getting through the start finish straight here. Let's see if that's going to happen. At a 3:10 gap is what he currently has against Hewlett and a Ferrari in front of him. Let's see how that's going to go. As you can see, Hewlett trying to hold on to that position, but might be at a bit of a disadvantage. Going down the start finish straight, the slipstream working as best as it can, but Monkey takes it along the outside. Looks like he might just be able to pull this off. It depends if the Ferrari is up to hold it back, but actually does get the position up. So he's up a position against the Ferrari driver. Hewlett's now down there. Let's see if he's able to hold on to that position going through the rest of the session here. So Monkey up to 9th, Hewlett down to 10th. Not a bad overtake from him. Have a look at DV Racing here in the Alpine, chasing after the Red Bull in front of him. Out in front, we still got a bit of a gap working there. On of 17, by the way, we still got a bit of a gap between Cones and Fuse there for the lead. 2.9 seconds is what it is. I think he's going to be getting away with that lead pretty easily as we get on through this current lap here. So let's see what's going between DV Racing and OJ right there in the Red Bull in front of him. And we got a bit of contact with the Alpine of DV Racing and the Barrows Young at the side. They're getting through castle section now. So he's lost. We do have some more problems with another Red Bull there, I think. And that was Joker. They're having some problems with the Red Bull spun around. Not sure if he's going to out of this race as yet or not. He is getting back going there. Now down into 10th, taking some damage to that car. DV Racing has some damage as well. So he's going to be doing a stop currently on this lap here, possibly to get that repaired, because getting through some of these turns here does require a certain amount of downforce to do it at the speeds that these guys are usually doing it at. And if with a damage front wing as the damage as it is there on that Alpine, he will need to get that repaired in terms of continuing on this. Up in front here with Canadian Necktie Red at the moment, he's chasing after Fuse. He's trying to get back into second place in this race as he's currently down to third. I think that's where he started in the race officially, but he's going to try to get back that position if he can. Unfortunately that we've lost 3 drivers from this session so far. So Fuse out in front, Necktie down in third. Let's see what happens with these two as they continue on through the lap here. It looks like the Aston Martin is holding up that position quite well so far as they get on through. Because I mean, second place is a pretty good position to be finishing this race, and especially with no penalties. He's looking at getting that position and keeping it at this point here if the Alfa Romeo cannot get back into second place. So let's see what's going to happen. Necktie is pushing as much as he can, really trying to get the position back here. And this might go all the way to where they fight through the start finish straight. And looks like Gamma Guy has retired from the session here. Unfortunately, so he's out. That's going to put Golden Phoenix's car up into 12th position. Of course, I think he's still disconnected from the session here, so that's going to be a bit of an issue with him there. That means 11 drivers officially left in this race session to finish this up, which is not too bad. We should at least finish with the top 10 getting on through. Cones still leads out front by about 3.6 seconds as he extends that advantage. Necktie trying to get alongside the Aston Martin right about now on the inside, tries to outbrake him, and a bit tight through that first turn there. He doesn't actually take the chance and push it on through. He is still right up to the behind, actually 110 behind Fuse, and still going to push on through into sector 1. Let's see if he's able to get it done. He's going to have the DRS advantage as long as he keeps the way it is there right now. He pulls alongside him. We'll be able to get it on into the next turn. And actually did it without taking any sort of damage to the car or any penalties as well. It is quite easily to get a penalty around the Baku circuit here, so they have to be a bit careful with that as they get on through it. Cones still leads 4.1 seconds. He continues to extend that lead. Of course, the advantage comes of being running on the soft tires. 5 laps only done, and then we got about 7 laps or so to finish off the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And looks like he's looking at another potential win here, which I assume he's had quite a few wins before being on the podium, with leading the championship by such an excessive amount of points at this point in the championship. Only 3 races in so far. We're currently on the 4th race getting through here. Still a 7-10 gap as it is right now between Fuse and Necktie. Still going to fight on through for that position. Switches back just a bit, and looks like Hewlett is out to race. Let's see if we can have a look what happened to his car. And there it is. Yes, around the castle section having a bit of an issue there. He's currently out. That's going to be a full safety car. This is going to result in some pit stops. Let's see where our race leader is getting through to the entry of the pit lane. Does he do a pit stop? Yes, he is going to do one. So Cones is into the pits right now. He's going to get onto a fresh set of soft tires. This is going to help him, of course, because his set of softs were going to be worn away by lap 23 at least, because he was pushing quite hard on them out in front. Looks like Necktie doesn't come in. He stays out. He's going to take over the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix right about now. I think that's what he was looking to get. Of course, on that safety car restart, we're going to have Cones behind of him on fresh soft tires. He's going to have that advantage against him. And all the rest of the cars behind do pit stops here as well, which means everyone's going to be going on to fresh soft tires at this point. This is going to be an issue there for Necktie out in front. He's now going to be at a slight bit disadvantage to quite a few cars getting an overtake done on him of the safety car restart here. We're on lap 20 at the moment. By the time this safety car goes in, we're going to be around lap 23. So not going to be many laps left for him to hold on to that lead out in front. But let's see if he's going to be able to do it. I think that's what he's possibly counting on at this point here, that he's going to be just a few laps to finish off the race. And he's going to try as much as he can to hold on to the lead. But of course, as we know, this is the Baku City Circuit. That start-finish straight, very long down at the back of the track there in Sector 3. It just gives these cars on the soft tires a bit more advantage, especially with the slipstream running down there. It's going to get a bit interesting to see what's going to happen, because I think Necktie is going to lose quite a few positions. It might have been a bit of a mistake not taking a pit stop with the rest of the grid here, because as you can see, almost everyone took a pit stop. I think the only car that did not do a stop here possibly was DV Racing, because he had a bit of an issue about 2 laps ago, losing a portion of his front wing. So he did a stop earlier on, went on to a set of soft tires. I don't think he did another stop there. So he's back up into 8th position, a bit of an advantage out of the safety car right now. And he's going to continue on with that, so let's see how that works for him. Everyone else has done a stop except for Necktie. He's now 9 laps done on those set of medium tires, which I really don't think is going to serve him too well when this race is back on the way. He's going to have to get a pretty good run and get a bit of a gap away from Cones and the rest of the guys behind of him. Of course, we know the pace that Cones is running with in this race is not going to be easy to keep behind for that remaining 3 to 4 laps that's going to be there to get to the end of the race. We're still running behind the safety car, currently on lap 20. We're about to get to lap 21, which means this is going to go on all the way through. At the end of lap 21, we should be able to get back racing into lap 22. That gives us at least 4 laps of racing to go, and yeah, I don't think that's enough time for Necktie to be able to hold on to that lead. It's just going to be too many laps. If it was just 2 laps, I think he might have stand a chance, or possibly just trying to with good car pace and possibly keep Cones behind, but I highly doubt that's going to happen at this point here with the way things are looking on a track here. So as we have it right about now, we got Necktie currently leading the race. We got Cones now running in second, of course, looking to take back that lead after the safety car goes in. We got Fuse running in third. We got Warren's running fourth. Mr. Clean runs in fifth right about now. OJ Bright in sixth. Monkey Mafia is all the way up into 7. Remember, he started 16th on the grid, running 7. Might be looking at a possible driver of the day. We'll have a look at that. C-Power there running 8. We got Joker running 9, DV Racing running in 10, Golden Phoenix's car possibly still disconnected, running in 11th right now. Let's have a look at position changes as it is there right now. So Monkey Mafia gained 9 positions off the start so far. He is potentially looking at getting driver today. Just depends on where he finishes on the grid. We'll see where the advantage goes. Necktie there might be losing quite more than 2 positions of what he's gained so far in this race session here. This all just depends of the safety car restart, what he's going to be able to do. Of course, no penalties in the session so far. Everyone running on very fresh tires there at the way. Everyone on fresh soft tires there at the way. DV Racing took another pit stop, went down to a new set of soft tires now to go down to the end of this race here. The only driver on the mediums and 10 laps done on them is Canadian Necktie at the moment. So let's see how the remainder of this race is going to go as we are about to should be able to get back started at the end of this current lap here. Let's have a look. Into sector 3, haven't seen a notification as yet. Let's see what's going to happen in that case, though. We're hoping to get back racing at the end of this lap. I think, yeah, there we go. So safety car is going to be in at the end of this current lap. We're about to go back racing into lap 22 and head straight into lap 26 down at the end of that. So let's see that final few laps of racing that's left here. It's going to get quite interesting between these guys here as well in terms of fighting for positions. They know it's just a few laps remaining. They're all on fresh soft tires. They're going to have to fight for positions as much as they can. It's going to get quite interesting through lap 22 itself as they get through that start finish straight and see who's going to be gaining positions of the slipstream with the car in front of them. Of course, Necktie not going to have that advantage if he's still leading. And he is on old medium tires, so let's see how that goes. He is currently holding the field back. He's going to be the first one to go, and I think he's going to keep this slowed down until the line there. But I think he's already going here right about now. Cone's about 5 tenths behind at the moment as it is chasing after him. Let's see how it goes into turn 1 as everyone heads into that. We got a Red Bull of OJ Bright going side by side. We got a bit of contact down at the back of the grid there, and Mercedes has spun around, and that's Mr. Clean down into 10. He's going to try to get back going. Might have taken some damage there as well as everyone goes on through. We got the Red Bull and the McLaren going side by side. The McLaren of C-Car holds back a bit to avoid damage there, and he's good so far getting back through. But I think the Mercedes down at the back might have taken some damage after that incident there in turn 1. I'm trying to have a look at that front wing right about now. He is missing an end plate, so did take some damage here. Of course, we got Necktie already down into second, almost down into third here as Fuse is trying to get past him, but that already has happened. He's trying to pull back for the position, might be taking some damage if he's not careful out in front. Goes back into second. And let's see for how long he's able to keep that. We got a Ferrari and an Aston Martin going side by side behind it. And that's Fuse and Warren's there trying to fight for that position itself. So let's see if this is going to happen, because it doesn't look like it's going to end too well as it goes through here right now. We might see a potential incident happen if these guys are not careful holding on to that position, because Necktie is going to be fighting it on through to hold on to second place. He's not going to want to give it up at this point here. Fuse and Warren's coming behind him side by side as Fuse tries to push on through for that position dangerously into that turn, and he actually gets it done. Got a Ferrari now coming behind. Warren's going to try and get past him if he can. Nice and possibly keep it down to the start finish straight, because he's going to have that advantage as they get on through there. He's still side by side with the Alfa Romeo as they get on through this. I think he had a bit of an issue down in the back there. That's a Ferrari having a bit of contact with someone. Warren's down to the side of the track there, and I think the entire suspension is gone. That's another safety car happening there, and I feel something was potentially going to happen. He might have had a bit of contact with a Necktie. I'm not sure on that one there what happened. Alright, continuing on out in front. Cones continuing on to lead. Fuse up into second. OJ Bright up into third. Podium position for him now. Monkey Mafia up into fourth. Looking at getting a podium position here as we're under the safety car, potentially for another lap or two. We're looking possibly to find 2 laps only of racing to go before this race is over here. And I'm quite sure that incident might be reported with the stewards. I think the steward is on watching right about now, as well as in the spectator mode. And yeah, that's going to be a bit interesting to see what happened there with that. So OJ Bright running in third. We got Monkey Mafia running in fourth. Joker running fifth. C-Power in sixth. Canadian Necktie runs seventh now, after I think he was potentially involved with that incident there with Warriors, because those two were going side by side through sector 3 of the track, fighting for that position, and they might have just come together. Or I'm not sure exactly what happened. I can't say at this point because we didn't have a clear view on that. We did, of course, see the Ferrari go straight into the wall, but of course, I think Necktie was a bit out front on that, so I'm not sure. We'll see what the situation is when the stewards get involved with that there. Monkey Mafia in 4th, Joker 5th, C-Power 6th, Necktie runs 7th, DB Racing runs 8th, Mr. Clean in 9th, Warren's unfortunately out. I think Golden Phoenix's car still is disconnected from the session. Haven't really had a look at that as yet. Okay, back on with this. So 10 drivers remain. I know 9 of them are currently active on the session as we get on through. Still behind the safety car on this current lap. We're on lap 23. We're about to get into lap 24. So I assume we're just gonna have lap 25 and 26 of racing left to go in the session. So we're gonna have to just run this one more lap under the safety car, and it's gonna get quite intense with that final 2 laps just being racing laps in the race here. So gonna be interesting with that to see how this gets on through. Cones, of course, still leading. Gonna try to get as big of an advantage as he can off the safety car restart. And once again, Fuse there running second. OJ Red, of course, running third. Monkey Mafia in fourth. He's gonna want to fight for a podium position here. I'm quite sure of that. And he's gonna keep as close as he can behind that Red Bull. Got the Red Bull of Joker there running in fifth. McLaren of C-Power running in sixth. Canadian Necktie runs seventh right now. The only Alfa Romeo left in the session. And DB Racing in 8th there in P. Mr. Clean in 9th. Let's have a look at Golden Phoenix. Is he disconnected still? Yep, he is still showing disconnected from that car, so that's going to be left as it is there right now. So as we are currently getting through lap 24 into sector 2 still here, still following on behind the safety car. I'm not so sure Cones is too happy about that, but they're all saving a bit on their tires here right about now, so they're going to be pushing as much as they can in the final 2 laps of this race. When that safety car goes in, there's going to be a lot of weaving down that start finish straight as before they get back restarted with this race. But what a race it has been so far, and who left a bit of a spark on the gas section there. Yeah, but unfortunate for the drivers we have lost so far there. Lightwork was the first driver to go off in the session. Shelly the Turtle, VZ, we got Gabagai, Hewlett, and Warriors, who was the last driver that we had DNF this session there. So unfortunate for that, we got 9 active drivers still in this race. So let's see, we still got some points to be giving out at the end of this. We can see Fuse keeping an extremely close gap to Cones out in front in the Williams there. So let's see how that's going to work for him. And safety car is of course going to be in on this current lap here. We do not want to be finishing the race under the safety car. Be a bit of a disappointing finish, I think, for everyone watching as well as the drivers there. Alright, so we're going to keep on with Fuse here. Have a look what's going to happen between him and Cones as this race is about to get back on the way. A lot of weaving, as I said, there would be as they're about to get back onto the start finish straight. Of course, Cones is going to be the first one to get back going here. Is he brake testing Fuse a bit there? I'm not sure. They're all bunched back up here, and let's see when he's ready to go. Of course, no overtaking until they get across the line. And 2/10, 3/10 is what our gap is. And Monkey Mafia within a 10th of the Red Bull in front of him, so he's keeping as close as he can. We're going to keep an eye on the midfield, getting through back on this restart now. And I think they've gone for it there right about now. Let's have a look on how it goes. So far, so good as everyone gets on through back on that opening lap there. And looks like we have a few positions which is still happening. The Red Bull, they're almost having some contact with the ball, so slows down quite a bit. Monkey Mafia currently still running fourth, of course. Let's have a look and see how Adiri Racing is going to be at the end of this. Currently into 6th, a 10th between him and Joker and the Red Bull in front of him. He's trying to get around that. Of course, we do have, we got quite a bit of contact happening here as well. Drivers losing possibly a bit of carbon fiber as they get on through. We got a Red Bull into the wall there. He's out of this race, and that's Joker out. The rest of the drivers continue on through. Monkey Mafia down into 8th. He had a bit of trouble there getting through that as well. DB Racing up into 4th. OJ Bright still continuing in 3rd. Necktie up into 5th right now. Got Mr. Clean in the Mercedes behind of him. C-Power up into 7th. Let's see how this continues on through. Monkey Mafia might have taken some damage to that car. Let's have a quick look here, see if we can. Because I'm not sure if he took any. Yep, he did take some severe damage actually. He's lost the entire front wing and he's already down into 8 down in the back of the grid. So he's possibly going to be able to take a stop, continue on to the end, or possibly just push that car all the way through as well. Let's see how that's going to work for him. We got Necktie and DB Racing going side by side here, fighting for P4 right about now. Let's see how that works out for them. Out in front, a pretty close gap with Cones and Fuse. I think it is about 7/10. We'll have back a look at that. But Necktie and Deary still at this. Deary in the Alpine. He's going to chase after him. Mr. Clean in the Mercedes behind of him, pretty close behind. Let's see how that works out. He's now up into 5th. Deary down to 6th. And down the start finish straight they're gonna go. He's gonna have the Alpine's gonna have the a bit of an advantage with the slipstream getting through. He's going to pull around the outside and try to get him in the braking zone if he can. He's going to try to go side by side, but holds on back through to now into turn 2. Let's see how that goes. Necktie holds on to the P4 position for now, at least into the final lap. We are currently 1.3 seconds out in front between Fuse and Cones as he continues to lead. OJ Bright currently third, another 1.5 seconds behind. DB Racing, of course, 7/10 behind the Mercedes. He's lost that position. Doesn't look like he's taking any damage. Actually, yes, he has taken damage, missing the right end plate to the front wing, and I think that's going to affect him trying to get back that position at this point here. Monkey into the pits, trying to get the new front wing on to finish off this race there in P8, of course, and he will, of course, still be getting some points once he gets across the start finish line there. We got Cones here out in front, leading by 1.8 seconds. He qualified here P1, started P1, led most of the laps in this race, has lost that lead just a few times, and in the race so far, his strategy has worked out quite well for him as he started on the mediums, went onto the softs a bit later on in the session, took a second stop, went onto a new set of soft tires during the safety car incident that we had earlier on in the race, and it's worked quite well for him, keeping on to the lead, and he's now 1.8 seconds ahead of the Aston Martin currently behind of him down the start finish rate, and he's about to get across the line and will take the win here for round 4 with HVRL for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and quite a good win for him. No penalties so far. Fuse gets across the line, takes second on the podium. We got OJ Bright in the Red Bull. He gets across the line third. He will be third place in the session there as it is there, so not a bad finish for the top 3. Mr. Clean, the Mercedes, comes home for P4, and just pretty close by between him and Necktie there, only about 300 of a second separate him as he got across the line there. He's P5 though. DB Racing will take 6th. We got C-Power finishing there in 7th. I don't think Golden Phoenix is going to be getting anything for this because he's not been connected to that car. We got Monkey Mafia. He lost the front wing once again apparently. Or did he just do a drive-through penalty? I'm not sure. I don't think he had a penalty though. He might have just changed the front wing and just lost it again. Got a bit frustrated on that final lap getting through. So he's still going to be able to get across the line here and finish 8th on the grid. So still not a bad finish for him. So an exciting 26 laps around the Azerbaijan circuit. A few safety cars. We had a VSC. We had some yellow flags. We lost quite a few drivers, but still overall was quite an interesting race. All drivers finishing the race without any penalties, and Monkey Mafia still gets across the line P8 and gets driver of the day on that one there. Let's see who got the fastest lap in the session. Might have been Cones, but let's see how that worked out. Just even because everyone was currently on fresh tires running on those final few laps. Alright, good. So the race win here for round 4 with HVRL for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix goes to Cones there, a 129.1 fastest lap in the race session itself. We got Fuse who got across the line for 2nd place on the podium. OJ Bright finishing taking 3rd place on the podium at Red Bull, and Mr. Clean finishing taking a 4th place grid position there. He's got Necktie just behind of him by about a few hundred of a second, is what separated him as he got across the line. P5 for him. DB Racing there, a few incidents in the race, but finished P6 still. C-Power 7. Monkey Mafia, of course, finished 8th and got driver of the day. His teammate Golden Phoenix got a bit of a connection issue, so I don't think he'll be getting anything off of that there. Unfortunate for the drivers who could not finish a session there. We got Joker, Warriors, Hewlett, Gabagai, I think VC, and who else do we have down at the back? 2 more drivers, I think Shelly Turtle and Lightboard. They're unfortunate, were not able to finish a session, but I think that's going to be there, guys, for this race session here with HVR. That was, of course, round 4. Join us again next week, Saturday evening, for round 5. The qualifying sessions are usually done on Friday evening at the same time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Usually we're not on to stream that though, so usually just the race session, and we have the qualifying results before the session is up. So thank you guys for joining on the session. I'll see you guys on the next stream.